Hello and welcome to my unhaul video. This year is not as exciting as the last couple of years because I haven't unhauled that many. I have around 20 books that I'm unhauling from the whole of 2023. There was some bad books. I DNF'd quite a lot of these and 90% of these are like a 3-star or below. I will get to each reason for each book, but not very much in detail because otherwise this video is going to be super long. If you like these books, I'm so sorry I didn't. But that's my opinion. So let's just get into the books. I'm going to start with fantasy and starting with the ones that I've already given away. I have already unhauled permanently out of my house 3 books, which are Challenger Deep by Neal Shusterman. I DNF'd it. I don't like this type of book, which is kind of like magical realism, mental illness, Halulu. I don't know. I don't like when it's like reality but hallucination, I guess. That's what I feel like this is. I did not like it, so I gave it to a friend. I also unhauled and gave to the same friend Recursion by Blake Crouch. I did read this. I just didn't like it. I don't like time traveling books, I have discovered this last year. Yeah, not for me. Not fun and fresh. And the last book that I also gave to the same friend is Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. I literally thought this was going to be a 5-star. It's in an old video, but yeah, I did not like it. I gave it like 60 pages and I hated it. I don't like the writing. It's very confusing and I didn't care. So yeah, sad, but it is what it is. Moving on to physical books that I still have in my house that will be promptly leaving my house after this video, that are still fantasy. I'm gonna go get some. So the first one, I have another DNF, which is The First Girl Child by Amy Harmon. I read until page 170 and gave up. I gave it a fair shot. I just don't think I'm the type of person to read high fantasy like this, which is like historically, with some like, I liked the Norse mythology part of it, but like the rest I don't care. It's kind of Game of Thrones, kind of like that series that I read the prequel of, which is The Evening and the Morning. I don't like it. Will I probably buy more books like this? Maybe, because I'm stupid. I don't know. I just did not like this personally. I got very, very bored. And I gave it half of this to try and convince me. It did not. But yeah, no. Next I have an entire series, which are the 2 out of 3 books in the Ever the Hunted or Clash of Kingdoms or whatever it's called series by Erin Summerall. I've already forgotten. I love these covers, but I don't love them enough to keep these mediocre and shit books. This one was fine. I gave it a 3. If this one had been a 3, I would have kept them, to be honest. Mostly because I'm biased over the covers. But this one was just so bad. So because I hated this one's also going. So goodbye to these. Then I have another whole series, which is The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. I fell asleep like 30 times reading the 60 pages that I gave The Hobbit. No thank you. No. Don't know why I even tried. The last fantasy book that I'm unhauling is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. I hated this one too. I still have another book by her, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully not as terribly as Uprooted in this one, but I'm not very optimistic. I just didn't like this. I did not like the ending. The plot is kind of boring halfway through. The romances are very Stockholm Syndrome-y. I just no, thank you. The next book I have is the only middle grade, which is The Magic Misfits by Neil Patrick Harris. I did not like this. I think I'm too old for this. I'm too old. That's my reasoning. Next I have 3 romance books, which is an improvement from previous years, honestly, so I'm kind of content. The first one that I have is Stay Gold by Toby McSmith, which I had really high hopes for, but it ultimately was not for me. I don't know. The only character that I liked was the main character, Pony. Other than that, everyone's shit and I just hated it. If everyone else had been less of a shit person, maybe I would have enjoyed this, but yeah, no, thank you. Next, I have Not Here to Be Liked by Michelle Quack, I don't know. I, again, obviously did not like this because the whole plot is insufferable. There's a warning on the back saying that this has an unlikable character. It's not that she's unlikable. I can bear with an unlikable character. I can't bear with this. She was such a pick-me. And I don't think I've read about a pick-me ever. So this was a bit... No. This was so incredibly annoying. And the last romance book, which in no way is in last. This is the worst book that I read in 2023. Spoiler for my best and worst of the year, which is this shit. I honestly would love to burn this book, but I won't because I love books and I think they're sacred and I wouldn't do that to a book. But this was so bad, I hate it with a passion. Worst book, top 5 worst books I've ever read in my life. And the last couple of books that I have are all mystery thrillers. So the first one is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, another Paula Hawkins that I did not like. I just thought it was predictable and boring. Next, I have 9 Perfect Strangers by Liane Moriarty. My grandma gave this to me. I'm uninterested, so I'm unhauling it because I have too much to read. And the last 4 books, which are all the books that I own of a series, are all the books in Truly Devious, minus the one that recently came out, which I don't care about anymore, obviously. I read Truly Devious, they're in the wrong order, but I don't care. I read Truly Devious and The Vanishing Stair. I don't like this. I understand why people do, I just don't. The only thing that happens in each book is one person dies and nobody does anything. Except the main character thinking she's Sherlock Holmes, doing everything but actually figuring out what is happening. I'm bored. I don't care. But those were all the 20-something books that I'm unhauling this year. Not as much as usual, not as exciting as usual, because I usually give like 40. But I didn't really hate any big series or stuff like that this year, except for Truly Devious. So whatever. It's actually better this way because I don't like unhauling books. I want to like the books that I buy because I'm spending money on this. So this is not bad. I prefer it going downhill. A few years ago I unhauled 60 books and then I think last year was like 40, 50, maybe 50. And so this year being 20 is actually pretty good. For me, less fun for you to watch me shit on books, but yeah, I will be probably selling all these now that I've discovered Vinted and its magical properties. Every time I deliver a box to the post office, I'm like, be gone, demon. It's great. But that is everything for today and I'll see you in my next weird video. Bye!